Old man poured chestnuts into the water and told the boy next to him, "The ones that float are bad, the ones that sink are the good ones." Jack immediately pulled out a small notebook to take notes. The old man suddenly realized that this kid was here to steal his trade secrets. He asked Jack for tuition fees, but at that time the billionaire-to-be had no money at all. He had no choice but to go home and figure it out on his own. He dumped a whole sack of chestnuts into the water and began experimenting over and over. He learned from the street vendor lady how to stir them properly, which type of river stones would make the roasted chestnuts smell better. He even took a sneaky taste of the sugar glaze from the neighboring stall when the owner wasn't looking. Then he went home and kept adjusting the recipe. Eventually he came up with his own secret formula, but the moment the chestnuts hit the pan, they exploded like popcorn, hitting him right in the face. That didn't shake his determination to make money. Soon a decent batch of sugar-roasted chestnuts was ready. He had his butler try one first, then handed one to his mom. His family all thought they tasted great, so Jack rented a stall in the mall's snack section. This place had both high foot traffic and the perfect target customers. Jack was very satisfied, but since he had to go to school, he had no choice but to leave the business to his butler for now. He thought he'd come back after school and find a pile of money waiting for him, but on the first day the earnings weren't even enough to cover the electricity bill. It didn't take long for him to notice that the other stalls were all shouting to attract customers, so he told the butler to start calling people over too. Yet on the second day they didn't sell a single box. Jack couldn't figure out what went wrong, so he grabbed his notebook and went to the farmer's market to see how others were selling their goods. He saw some vendors offering discounts, some giving away small gifts, but what really opened his eyes was the public restroom. The donation collectors stood at the entrance, and every time someone walked out they would drop some money into the box, not because the location was great, but because everyone who came out of the restroom had just relieved themselves, which put them in a generous mood. Jack rushed back to the mall. He paid a high price to move his stall to the parking lot entrance, hoping that everyone leaving would grab a bag of chestnuts on their way out. Sure enough, by the next day there was a long line at his stall. Bag after bag of chestnuts kept selling out. Jack was beyond excited. He did the math. At this rate, if he opened a few more stores, he could make at least $1 million a month. Soon new locations started popping up. Just as business was taking off, he received a notice from the mall asking him to leave. The smoke from his chestnut roasting machine had blackened the ceiling. At first Jack thought he could fix it by repainting, but the dripping paint ended up ruining nearby merchandise. Not only did he have to pay for the damaged goods, he also got kicked out of the mall.